Pacific salmon have existed in the North Pacific Ocean for more than 5 million years. Natural climatic changes have caused fluctuations in salmon abundance over several thousand years, but impressive adaptive ability has been one of the main factors enabling salmon survival to this day. However, recent changes in climate are unprecedented. 2016 was the hottest year on record globally, the third year in a row. Scientists have declared that the major trends in climate observed in the past 50 years have been caused by human activity, and warn that if this continues, California coastal salmon could become extinct. In Marin County, there are 3 main migrating river streams for Coho salmon: Lagunitas, Redwood, and Walker Creeks. The National Park Service has been monitoring Coho and Marin County streams since 1997. The Lagunitas Creek watershed is home to the largest remaining wild run of Coho salmon in Central California. The stream's headwaters begin on the northern slopes of Mount Tamalpais. The Coho life cycle begins in Lagunitas Creek, where eggs rest in a redd, or nest, in the cool, slow-flowing stream laid beneath fallen trees. The juveniles remain in Lagunitas Creek for the next 1 to 4 years. From there, the young adult salmon begin their journey to the sea by swimming downstream through Point Reyes Station. They continue their journey to sea by swimming through Tamales Bay. From there, young adults migrate up to Bodega Bay and finally begin their journey into the open ocean for the next 3 to 4 years. Salmon's survival without environment influences is difficult. Although a single female Coho salmon can lay anywhere from 1,000 to 17,000 eggs, very few of those eggs actually survive from fertilization to maturity. An average of 3 fish returning for every parent fish that spawns would be considered good production. That's in a good climate year. Coho salmon are anadromous fish. Anadromous means they migrate between ocean and fresh water. The life cycle of Coho salmon starts with eggs being laid in redd, or nest, in the gravel of a river stream. Once born, they go from alevins, fry, parr, and smolts, and live in coastal streams for 1 to 4 years before heading to the ocean. Because of the drought, salmon eggs are dying off in large numbers. As the water gets warmer, their metabolism increases, demanding more and more oxygen. The NOAA reported in 2016 that just 3% of the run's juvenile salmon survived their historic migration to sea, dying in large numbers because rivers were simply too shallow and too warm to tolerate. Young Coho salmon only thrive in streams that are cool, with unobstructed water flow and adequate oxygen. During the drought, not only have the river streams significantly gone down, but also temperatures in the river have risen from an ideal high of 55 degrees to 58 degrees at times, proving a death knell for the young fish. The past 20 years has had the most severe impact, especially Coho salmon in Northern California. The drought and higher water temperature has put Coho salmon on the brink of extinction. Also, many spawning Coho in warmer river streams have succumbed to a disease called gill rot. The disease flourishes in warm water. It has been blamed in tens of thousands of die-off of Pacific salmon. Overall, there has been a 95% drop from salmon numbers since the 1940s. Human intervention has had the most detrimental effect on California Coho salmon. Dams, levees, and culverts have blocked Coho from streams. The good news is that conservationists now have started going to great lengths in trying to curb the effect of potential salmon extinction. Locally, strong efforts are being made to protect and restore undammed headwater reaches of the watershed, where upwards of 40% of the Lagunitas Creek salmon spawn each year. Prior to the 1900s, Lagunitas Creek fed into the largest wetland in Tamales Bay. By the late 1940s, most of these wetlands had been turned into pastures. Over the last century, humans have taken the Coho salmon's natural habitat away by removing redwoods, large logs, and gravel supply. Beavers, which also supported salmon habitat, have disappeared. Sediment from the surrounding hills have filled stream pools, smothered eggs, increased bed movement, damaged gills, and reduced water quality. The National Park Service has been restoring Marin County pastures to wetlands and floodplains, which now provide foraging, resting, and breeding habitat for young Coho during high flows and rich feeding grounds as they are migrating out to sea. The good news is that conservationists have converted many parts of Lagunitas Creek into artificial deep pools using redwoods and other woody debris to slow water and allow dense shade. They have also improved fish passages upstream and controlled erosion. The watershed has also released more water for Lagunitas Creek, especially to help during the drought. And finally, the conservationists have completed estuary restoration at Tomales Bay. This artificial haven for salmon red gives refuge for predators and high flows during torrential downpours. The drought has had a significant impact on coho salmon. However, now that the drought has come to an end, one might ask if the salmon will once again flourish and be taken off the endangered list. The answer is no. Now our local creeks and watersheds are teeming with silt-ridden waters that are running fast. The February run of coho salmon in Lagunitas Creek were affected by murky waters that were difficult to navigate. Many of the reds were scoured away. There's a long road ahead for California coastal coho salmon survival. They have managed to endure for millions of years, and with a little help from their human friends, may manage to flourish well into the next millennia.